WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5.
After more than a year of war and many months of negotiations, Israel and Hamas have reached a deal to end the fighting in Gaza. It's our top story today at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones. President Joe Biden says the ceasefire will be in place as long as Israel and Hamas remain at the negotiating table for a long-term truce. Ramy Inocencio is here for you with the very latest from Tel Aviv.
Celebrations on the streets of Gaza with word of a breakthrough deal after 15 bloody months of war. Negotiators in Qatar announcing a ceasefire and hostage release agreement between Israel and Hamas.
And this deal will bring us peace, hopefully, at the end of it.
As soon as Sunday, Hamas could begin handing over Israeli hostages to Israel, bringing new anticipation among friends and families in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square. President Biden claimed the success.
This is the ceasefire agreement I introduced last spring.
In the deal agreed, phase 1 would last 42 days, with Hamas releasing 33 hostages, including women, the elderly, and sick. In exchange, Israel would set free dozens of Palestinian detainees for each. Israel would also pull back to Gaza's perimeters, and humanitarian aid would start flowing again, something civilians in Gaza have been desperate for. In phase 2 of the agreement, another 42 days, Hamas would release the remaining hostages, alive and dead, with the focus shifting to rebuilding Gaza and who will govern it in the future. This brutal conflict was sparked by Hamas-led invasion of southern Israel on October 7, 2023. More than 1,200 were massacred, more than 250 others kidnapped and taken into Gaza. In retaliation, Israel's military has obliterated much of the tiny strip in its avowed goal to destroy Hamas. But after 466 days, more than 46,600 men, women, and children have also been killed, says the Hamas-run health ministry, with thousands more believed buried under the rubble. Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
The agreement still needs to be approved by Israel's parliament, but is expected to go into effect in the coming days. So be sure to stay with 6 News on air, online, and through our 6 News app for the very latest on the Israel-Hamas ceasefire. Well, the clock is tick-tocking for TikTok. The social media app is very popular here in the U.S., but after an appeals court upheld a law allowing the ban on the app, it looks like users have to brace themselves for an end to it all. Rachel Ramsey is here for you now with what this means for Mid-Michigan content creators who use the app to make money.
Yeah, Sherry, the irony of the app's name being TikTok is too real right now. The Supreme Court has heard arguments. Now they are deciding the fate of the app and could make an announcement any day. For many users, the anticipation is killing them as the app is their form of entertainment, shopping, and a stream of income. Chanel Henry is a content creator here in Lansing with hundreds of thousands of followers. She has been on the app for 5 years and recently started promoting her new book there. She says no other platforms compare to TikTok's algorithm when it comes to getting views and followers. And while she is staying optimistic because the outcome is ultimately out of her control, she says nothing will offer what TikTok does.
I'm hoping that someone can come up and interrupt this interruption. It's a bummer, especially when it comes to my passive income. I've been able to land contracts because of my following on TikTok. So it's unfortunate for that, as well as just my creative side, creating the content, right?
So now we wait to hear what the Supreme Court has to say. They could overturn the ruling, they could delay it, or they could agree with the ban, which would take the app off of app stores. But coming up on 6 News at 6, we'll tell you what people are already switching to as they get ready to lose TikTok. Back to you.
Interesting. Thank you, Rachel. It is that time of year where someone you might know is coming down with the sniffles or even a cough, and there may be a reason for that. A Mid-Michigan doctor says there's a rise in respiratory illnesses. Our Taryn Simmons spoke to a health expert about why there's a spike in cases and what Michiganders can do to keep themselves and everyone else safe. Taryn, tell us what you learned.
Sherry, I spoke to Nike Shoinka, the medical health officer with the Ingham County Health Department. She says illnesses like RSV, COVID, and the flu thrive in the cold where everyone tends to be inside instead of indoors. Shoyinka says there's a rise in respiratory illnesses. According to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, as of January 4th, 6.6% of emergency visits are related to some respiratory virus. She adds that although there's an increase, it's not out of control. She says the number of influenza cases in Michigan are lower than the national level.
National numbers are at about 6%, and we are at about 4.3, 4.5% right now. Normally, fall through the winter, you see a rise in respiratory illnesses in general.
She urges people to follow these simple rules if they're sick. Stay at home, but if you need to go out, wear a mask, and when coughing, to cover your mouth with your arm instead of your hand to prevent the spread of germs. Shoyinka also advises people to get vaccinated to protect themselves and those around them. So far, she says almost a quarter of Michiganders have gotten the influenza vaccine. Sherry, back to you.
Thank you, Taryn. In other health news today, there are now new recommendations to measure obesity, which could be welcome news for some people previously classified as obese. A report published in the journal Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology. It focuses on body fat and what medical issues people have, not just their weight. So instead of using BMI or body mass index as a way to diagnose obesity, the authors want BMI to be a first step to determine who should be tested for excess body fat. If the guidelines are widely adopted, it's expected that some doctors may treat fewer people for obesity. Well, as the wildfires continue to burn in California, donations for victims are coming in from across the country. In Brooklyn, New York, organizers of this 3-day clothing drive had to stop taking donations because of the overwhelming response. Bags and bags of clothing and other items started piling up, as you can see, waiting to be shipped to LA.
Like shocking, to be honest. Like, this is how you know that the community is there for each other, one for another.
And you know, humanity is #1 for us. Everyone's human, and you know, we really just want to help out no matter what.
The fires have destroyed more than 12,000 homes and other structures, while 150,000 people are under evacuation orders. So if you would like to help the victims of these California fires, just scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen. It will take you straight to the Red Cross donation site. We have also posted a link for you on our website, WLNS.com. Well, it's cold and even colder weather is on the way, and the city of Lansing restarted its Code Blue emergency protocol yesterday afternoon. This time it will last at least through Thursday morning. Cater buses will take people to warming centers for free. Just ask the driver. Those warming centers include Advent House, the City Rescue Mission, Holy Cross New Hope Community Center, and the Letts Community Center. For more details, just call 211. You can always visit our website, WLNS.com.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
While we've got a break from the cold on the way over the next couple of days, there's even colder weather, dangerously cold weather on the way for next week. Let's check out how we're doing with snowfall so far this season. Lansing at 1.1 inches above average. Grand Rapids close to 6 inches above average. But you see Muskegon, Flint, Detroit all a little bit below. We head further north, Houghton Lake a little above, Alpena a little below, nothing too extreme. But we're still seeing in the UP that kind of extreme from one side to the other, with Sault Ste. Marie over 40 inches above average, while Marquette is still over 30 inches below average. But that will begin to equal out over the coming days as there's more lake effect on the way. Precision cast snow. Our system tonight through tomorrow morning, minor system, traced to less than an inch of accumulation. Just some snow showers, but it will impact the morning commute. So as always, if the snowflakes are flying, watch out. Friday night, Saturday morning, a second system begins to move through, and that will drop another inch or 2 of accumulation. So from now through Saturday evening, we're looking at around 1 to 3 inches of additional accumulation, and of course a lot more along the lake shore. And it'll begin to pile up this weekend and next week, in particular in the UP, western, northwestern parts of the state. We're going to have a lot of cold air that's going to interact with the lakes and produce a lot of lake effect snow. So get ready for that. So we check out the satellite and radar today. We're watching some snow showers to our northwest. That is our weather maker on the way late tonight and tomorrow morning. Precision cast, some snow showers through the morning commute, scattered about through the area. It's not widespread, and it's not a typical lake effect where you have that westerly fetch and you get the bands at set up and sit forever. So overall accumulations look to be in check. As we move through Thursday afternoon, quiet weather. I think whatever morning snow showers we have should clear out. Maybe we'll get a break or two. Off to the northwest, really strong cold front is taking shape, and that will begin to move in our direction. We are on the warm side of the front for Friday with highs in the mid-30s. But once this front passes, Arctic air will begin to spill south, head towards the Gulf Coast, and we're looking at single-digit highs as we head into next week. Our Skyview network today got a few breaks in those clouds. Temperature 23 degrees on the McLaren Cam, wind chill of 18, winds at 6 miles per hour. In Grand Ledge this evening, not a bad evening at all, except for it's cold outside, 22 degrees the current temperature. Peak winds today earlier were up to 27 miles per hour. In Jackson, should be a beautiful sunset once again with lots of color in the sky. Temperature 19 degrees, wind chill of 7, winds at 11 miles per hour. In Hillsdale this afternoon, cold is the case everywhere, 17 degrees the current temperature. Winds are calm, but a wind gust earlier today was up to 32 miles per hour. Few numbers around mid-Michigan. St. John's 22 degrees, Owasso 24, Mason, Charlotte, south through Jackson, Hillsdale, and east towards Adrian. It is cold, and wind chills at times have been near 0. Current wind chills 9 in Adrian, 3 Hillsdale, 6 in Marshall, and 9 in Ionia. Tonight's forecast, look for overnight lows near 14 degrees with scattered snow showers returning. That 14 is going to occur a little after midnight, then temperatures will begin to rise tomorrow morning. Look at that 4 o'clock temperature. Break out the shorts and the short sleeves, 32 degrees. It's a warm one tomorrow. The 6-day forecast, even warmer on Friday, 34 degrees, but windy morning snow showers on Saturday, Sunday, 14 degrees. Weather aware days because of not only snow showers, but just the dangerous temperatures. 6 the high on Monday, lows 5 below 0. Tuesday morning, a high of 7 degrees. The 6+6-day forecast throughout the rest of next week. Warmer weather does return. Some snow showers here and there. No major winter storms, but several lake effect snow chances. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the fetch off of Lake Michigan should bring the snow showers inland, so I think we'll see some accumulations on those days as well.
All right, you know, during these next few days, it's always a good idea to maybe reach out to your neighbors, because when those Monday and Tuesday temperatures are really freezing, just to check on them.
Right, and don't forget like the pets and stuff. I know some people like to keep the pets outside, but next week's going to be dangerously cold.
Yeah, those frozen like water dishes.
Yeah, right. Just bring them inside. Put them on the couch.
Thank you. Well, coming up on 6 News at 5, we'll have the latest from Washington, where President-elect Trump's cabinet picks continue to face tough questioning from Congress. 6 News at 5 will be right back.